Our next speaker is no exception to that chain, and that is Lenore Kinder, who is a concert promoter with AEG Live. Her start in the music industry, I think, was equally humble, and she's going to come tell us all about it. Lenore Kinder.
So I heard I got invited tonight because they needed a lady to speak. So you guys are fucked. In all seriousness, no, I'm here to talk about artist development. I'm here to talk about myself. I'm here to talk about music. But the thing that I'm most passionate about is artist development. I'm very fortunate to work with amazing artists that are far beyond comprehension of how much of a reach that they have, like Mumford and Sons. The reason that I'm excited to work with them when they play in front of 25,000 people is because I started with them in front of 1,000 people. And that is, for me as a promoter, I don't consider myself a talent buyer. It's personal fuel. It's one of the most exciting things. It's exhilarating. I don't have children. I would imagine it's probably equally as exciting as whenever you watch your child grow up to be an amazing adult. That's how I feel when I see my bands that are like children to me grow up and achieve their dreams, and I get to be a part of that too. I get to help make that happen. I love being a magnifying glass and a megaphone for their art. And I take that really serious. I know that I'm not saving lives, but I think that it's really cool, and I know that people need those types of experiences in their day-to-day, mundane, sad, sometimes happy, sometimes amazing lives. So just to give you a little bit of understanding of who I am, and maybe that'll help you figure out what motivates me. I have a humble beginning in Knoxville, Tennessee, go Vols. Not necessarily the most booming metropolis or artistic community to grow up and know that you're a little bit different than everyone else. I was performing in a medieval choir when I was in high school, which is a little nerdy, but kind of cool. It provided me to go to some places like Toronto and Chicago and sing and dress up in really weird, like, 14th and 15th century gowns, because you can totally see me in a 15th century gown right now. But I really loved the music, and I loved that it was really simple, and I sang second alto, so it wasn't about being the star, it was about making the sopranos lead and harmonizing with her and making it sound so much better. If I was doing my job really well, it made her sound amazing. And I feel like that still resonates with what I do now. So from those beginnings, I always had the music in me, but I didn't realize how it would shape my life and how it would become the soundtrack of my life. Like, I look back on my first concert, it was New Kids on the Block. I'm sorry, okay? I was 2 rows from the top in Thompson Bowling Arena, and my sister took me there for my 10th birthday, and I share Mark Wahlberg's birthday, and it was the best day of my life, okay? So I can't say that I had some amazing concert experience that like pushed me in this direction, but I just always knew that it was a soundtrack, it was a fabric. Like, I have 2 senses that are really prevalent for me to remember important moments in my life. One is smell. I don't know why. The other one is music. Like, I can remember songs that remind me of people, circumstances, or really like memorable times in my life. So I began my college career at the age of 17. I was determined to do better than my mom. She raised my sister and I as a single mom. I'm not up here to make this like some female point of view, whatever, even though I'm the lady. But I was determined to wear a suit, and I was gonna make all the money, and I was gonna be a badass bitch, and I was gonna be an accountant. Because that's what my mom wanted me to do, and I was gonna do that. So I did some internships. I was being headhunted by Deloitte & Touche. Internship for Regal Cinema's corporate office. I did fixed assets management, where you amateurize all of the assets that they have. Don't do it. It's so terrible. But I had a moment where me and my friends, we were having fun. You know, we were 20, 21. Most of us were 25 with our fake IDs. And we went to Savannah because 3 of them flunked out of school, and I got straight A's. And I couldn't understand why I was so unhappy with something that I was so good at. So we went down there and we drank a lot and listened to a lot of music. And I came home and I told my mom I was going to drop out of school. I was like, I've got the answer. I hate what I'm doing. I'm going to drop out of school until I figure out what I want to do. And that just wasn't jiving with my mom. I felt like, and I don't even know where this came from, but I always said if I had followed down the path of being the accountant, and I'm not knocking accountants, it just didn't work for my personality type, that I would take a slow walk in the kitchen, and my life would be over before I knew it, and I would wake up, and it would be too late to reinvent myself, and I would be living my life for someone else other than me. So I would use all these really great catchphrases to my mom, like I was finding myself, which just meant I was smoking a lot of pot and listening to Leftover Salmon and Fish and Widespread Panic and just going on road trips. But so I didn't know what I wanted to do yet, but I knew ultimately if I bet on myself, the money would follow, right? Passion fuels success, and success breeds wealth. And wealth can mean money, can mean happiness. It can mean a lot of different things. And to me, I knew that wealth in that time and phase in my life wasn't lining up with what my mom had put into my head of what successful was. So I really went down the wormhole of finding myself. So we made a compromise. She told me that I couldn't drop out of school, and I agreed, and I decided I wanted to pursue a career in music. I had no idea what that meant, how to do it, where to begin. So I was like, okay, I'll get a degree in marketing, and because that seems pretty useful to be able to like size up people, figure out how to monetize situations, and I'll get a minor in theater with an emphasis in production, and that'll keep me in college for at least another year so I can keep partying. And then I'll know what stage left and stage right and park hands and Lecos and all that stuff is. So that's where it kind of started. I thought I wanted to do A&R for a label. This is where the whole like artist development thing, like finding a treasure. I always compare what I do as sifting for gold. As a promoter, I'm sitting by some proverbial stream just sifting, God, can I find Mumford and Sons, you know? So that's what I thought I wanted to do. I wanted to be an A&R rep for a label because I wanted to find undiscovered talent and bring it to the masses. For whatever reason, and maybe it was because Napster, and I'm sorry if there's any label people in the house, so please don't take this the wrong way, but maybe it was Napster coming out when I was in college, not to date myself, but I realized like that seems to be shrinking, and I started going to more concerts and realized a record is great, it's good. There's really good records, but nothing compares to a great experience with your friends at a concert at all, bar none. Better than sex, better than anything, really. Like to have a record, all it is a reminder to me of how great the concert was, basically. So I knew that I had to be a part of that. I was like chasing a dragon. It was like the best drug I had ever had. So I managed to get a marketing internship with AC Entertainment in Knoxville. How random that there is such an amazing company in Knoxville. And I managed to get fired within the first 6 months because I was too wild. So, flash forward, I stay determined. I'm still hanging up posters. I'll do whatever it takes to stay in the mix. I start running a local club in Knoxville called Blue Cats. Nightmares about advancing my first show with the Wailers. I was convinced if we didn't have 64 park hands that they were going to cancel the show. That's not the truth. If you have a bag of weed and give them some cash and pay them, they'll play. So, you know, that was like my first experiences of understanding how this worked, like right as per advance, and it doesn't really matter what they say. Working at that venue, it set the pace. It solidified it. I was a part of the fabric. Standing in the back of that room, whether there were 100 people or 750, and watching people lose themselves in that moment and providing escapism for them made me feel like I was on fire. Like I can feel that feeling right now, just even talking about it. It's exhilarating. So that's when it started to happen for me. The development really started to happen in 2014. I started working with this band called 10 Years, an active rock band from Knoxville. Developed them in the local Knoxville market. Started booking them regionally, started helping manage them. I got to meet Jason Flom in Huntington, West Virginia. He told me about doing coke with, what was the dude from? Prankster. No, it was Steven Tyler. He was like, yeah, I was doing blow with him. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so cool. I gotta do this. But I felt like this was my break. They promised me a ticket out of town, but when it was time to cash in, they forgot about me, and I was left in Knoxville. Thank God that didn't pan out, because I don't really like active rock that much. So I continued to work for Blue Cats, and I realized that I'd hit a serious glass ceiling. There's only so much I could do there with what I wanted to do, and I really wanted to spread my wings some more. So I started watching this movie called The Kid Stays in the Picture after I decided to move to Nashville. And I watched that movie every night, literally for a month straight, as my inspiration to not give up and to just keep going. And there's one quote that just resonated with me so much. And I don't know if he's stealing it from anyone. I don't care, but I just like it. And Bob Evans said, there's no such thing as luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And that just resonated with me so much. It's like, Lenore, you're going to have to bust your ass and you better be ready, is basically what it meant to me. So 2006, I moved to Nashville, the big city. And I figured they would be rolling out the red carpet, ready for some little whippersnapper like me that had been running a club and made it successful. And literally within 6 months, I was rolling sushi. I was so bored, like I could not figure it out. I tour managed, sold merch, pushed cases, and eventually found myself eating bread and tomato sandwiches. And I think I even worked for Brian Waymeyer for like a week. It was before Red Gorilla. I think I was like trying to book some of your bands. It's really weird to think about that now. I mean, it's crazy. So I had this window where Chris Cobb told me that I should meet someone named Allie Harnell, and she worked for AEG Live. And I was like, what the hell is AEG Live? Like, do they sell listings in the phone book? But I met her, and I felt like there was an opportunity there. And I literally would show up at her office once to twice a month with her favorite coffee, just unannounced, to let her know how bad I wanted it. And less than a year later, I got my break. In 2007, I was a full-time employee for AEG Live. Yeah, thanks. First artist that I'm super proud of that I booked, that I still work with to this day as part of my artist development pitch that I say that I believe in and I know that I do, was Amos Lee. Booked him at Mercy Lounge. The last time he played in the market, he sold the woods at Fontanelle out in advance, so that's a really proud moment. First megastar I ever booked was Adele at the Cannery Ballroom in 2009. Who knew? Yeah, I found her on MySpace. Fucking crazy, man. I heard Chasing Pavements, and I ran into my boss's office, and I said, she's going to be a superstar. And I don't care how much money we have to lose to do this show. I have to do this show, or I am not being a good promoter. We sold out 2 Bridgestones in less than 45 minutes. It's the most incredible thing ever, lightning in a bottle. Another amazing band, Mumford and Sons. I found them on MySpace. Saw them live at Bonnaroo in 2010, started crying during their set, immediately started stalking Adam Voigt. And the biggest show we've done to date was 23,000 people at Centennial Olympic Park in Atlanta, first hard ticket show in that venue. 2011, I found Ben Rector in Lady A. The reason Lady A resonated to me, I do like country music, they put a minor chord in a country song. That's really powerful. 2012 wasn't shabby. I found Alabama Shakes and Imagine Dragons. The last tour they came through in Nashville, I was the only promoter on the entire North American tour that wasn't a Live Nation promoter. That's how far and how deep I dig with my artists. 2013, I found the Lumineers. 2014, I found this girl that nobody else believes in as much as I do, Casey Musgraves. 2015, Chase Rice. So this is just like some of the artists that I work with. Over 540 shows later that I've personally booked. I'm still as passionate as the first day that I walked in at AEG. I'm fucking terrified. I'm excited. I feel like the rug could get yanked out from underneath me or it could literally start flying at any moment. It is the wildest ride. Here's where I start talking about what I do. I don't bet on if, I help create when. I feel like in what we do, everybody has their own lane. Artists first and foremost, we wouldn't have a job without them, period. They're the boss. You've got your managers, you've got your agents, and you've got your promoters. And we actually play a really, really important part in it. And that's where I hope to see the trend going. Do I take money grabs? Yes. I have bands that I put up their show at the Ryman because I know it's going to sell out. And it's my job to bring in money for AEG Live. That's why it's a for-profit. But at the end of the day, I excel when I can be a part of the team and when I can really dig deep to figure out what their dreams are, and we can just like expand beyond that, because I feel like what I do, maybe it's not an art, but it feels like a craft to me. It's a very fine balance. It's a dance. And when I'm being my best version of myself, I'm getting to do that. And nothing feels better than to really push someone else. And that goes back to the like high school singing in the choir. I didn't want to sing the solo. I wanted to back up the soloist. I wanted to be the backup singer, just be a part of it, but really let them shine. And that is, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like my dream. This is what I've always wanted to do as far as I know of. I'm sure my dream will change and shift, but it's where I'm at right now. And it feels really good. And I'm really proud of a lot of the acts that I get to work with and the people that I work with and the team involvement that I get to be a part of. Where do I see all this going? Hopefully in the direction that I'm moving. I hope it's career-long relationships where there's more synergy between the acts, the agent and the promoter. And the challenge that I have for other talent buyers or promoters out there is, if you want to stop being treated, if you don't want to be treated like the bank anymore, then stop acting like it and think like the artist.
Wow. Is that it? How many quotable tweets do we just get from that, folks? That was remarkable. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I know they appreciate that. Now you know why we booked her. Incredible. Lenore Kinder.